Good morning, Emre. Great to have you contributing directly from the MIT to our discussion on promoting transatlantic innovation for climate protection and sustainable growth, specifically addressing the potential of hydrogen. Dr. Gencer, you as a leading energy researcher are part of the MIT Energy Initiative. Could you please describe in a few sentences the scope of that initiative?
Good morning, and thank you very much for inviting me, Dirk. So, of course, I can briefly discuss what's MIT Energy Initiative is doing. And basically, MIT Energy Initiative is the energy hub at MIT, meaning anything related to energy topics is passing through us. So we are working with more than 350 faculty across campus. Also, we have industrial members to the initiative, including all the major energy companies. And in addition to these, we are also having a research and analysis team and group that I am leading that's looking at energy transition questions from a quantitative point of view.
Thank you, Emre. Building on your perspective and shifting a bit more towards hydrogen, what do you see as the most important technology developments in hydrogen?
This is a really important question because when we have the hydrogen discussion, we really need to make sure that we understand the technology bottleneck. When we look at today's hydrogen space, basically, we know how to produce it, how to use it, how to transport it. But the bottleneck is the renewable hydrogen production methods, as well as low carbon hydrogen production methods, are not cost effective. The first technological bottleneck we need to solve is really to reducing the cost of producing hydrogen in a low carbon manner. However, this doesn't solve the problem because hydrogen has a huge value chain, including production, transport, storage, and use. And whenever we solve the renewable hydrogen cost issues, we really need to address all of the other elements in the value chain. So when we think about transport, the infrastructure is really important. We need to make sure that we have infrastructure in place to transport hydrogen. Similarly, storage will play a very important role because we will need to store large amounts of hydrogen to make sure that it's not affected from intermittently available renewable energy sources. And on the use case, we really need to develop new machines and appliances that can take hydrogen at different percentages. Basically, this requires a systems view, and we need to address hydrogen from all of these perspectives.
How can you, with your research and modeling expertise, help countries or even regions to make the right decisions to transform the current energy system towards a low-carbon environment, including hydrogen?
At MIT Energy Initiative, we are developing qualitative and quantitative tools and techniques to understand the energy transition. And so our contribution to this space is, for example, we've been developing a tool called Sesame to perform scenario analysis for different policies and different technology options in an energy system. So with these tools, basically, we can address all of the questions about how we can supply hydrogen, what is the lowest emission pathway to produce hydrogen, to transport hydrogen, store hydrogen, so on and so forth. More importantly, hydrogen can be used in different sectors. And the first sector that we need to inject hydrogen is changing based on where we are. And when we look at all of these problems, this is a quite complex problem that requires analytical techniques that is specifically designed to answer these kind of questions. And we really believe that the toolbox that we've been developing over the last few years is really positioned to address all of these questions at a very regional and country-specific level. But of course, this is a bigger problem. And so we can also help making decisions for the global hydrogen strategies.
Finally, we at Atlantik-Brücke are interested in fostering transatlantic exchange. What are your plans, Dr. Gencer, to be involved in the European debate on how to move forward with the new Green Deal, and specifically the European hydrogen strategy.
So this is also a very important point, because we are really in this all together. So it is really hard to focus on one particular regional area and only discuss the hydrogen strategy of that particular area, including Europe or US. The reason is any energy system in current global scope is actually connected. So when we discuss or think about European energy system, it is connected to the neighbors as well as to the US. Similarly, US has many connections as import and exports to many regions around the world. So the first thing we really need to understand is we need to develop a global hydrogen strategy, and each one of these regional strategies will be part of it. Secondly, we can really, we have a very short time to address this climate challenge. And to make sure that we expedite the research and analysis that needs to be done, we need to work together with European institutions, other parts of the world, as well as American institutions. So everybody has their own techniques, tools, and know-how, and we need to bring everything together and solve for minimum carbon pathways as soon as possible. So the main challenge that we see here is that we have a limited carbon budget, and how we go from today's energy system to a low carbon energy system is really important. And to help that, we need to make sure that we are making the best possible decisions, and best possible decisions require a full understanding of trade-offs of different options, different choices. And to make these choices, we need to use analytical techniques and tools that we've been developing, and other groups are also developing. So the way I see it, we really need to work this on this problem together, and our capabilities can really help making a better strategic plan for future of hydrogen in Europe as well as for the world.
Many thanks, Emre, for your insightful comments on the future research focus on hydrogen in the narrow and on promoting transatlantic innovation for climate protection and sustainable growth in the broad.
Thank you.